I made a lot of people rags on this super chain. Craze back outside and it's right here. This that super bass. I just woke up and I'm like, what I'm finna do today? Measurements, major flips, makes sense. Okay, let's go. Going up, I'm going long. I told the squad, meet at the base. Punt the bags, I punt the stock. It must be hard to keep the pace. 7 figures out the songs, that was the outcome of my pain. We're bringing $1 billion on chain.
Some people gon' leave whenever there's tough times, but shout out to the real ones that stuck by. Dark days make you appreciate when there's sunshine. Reason I trust mine. Look, I got some moves to make. I gotta get it right now, I refuse to wait. Really don't do the fakes. I gotta keep my grass low just to view the snakes. If only you knew the stakes. Taking these risks to pursue was great. I got some moving bass. Now I'm on chain and I'm using bass. Using bass. Now I'm on chain and I'm using bass. I've been outside, I'ma choose my faith. Cooking the shit of a food on plates. And then when Rio be standing on business, there ain't no way we can lose this race. I had to manage the damage inflicted. Put on the grass, we don't use the brakes. Nah. So many chains I've been able to mint. So many ways now I'm taking my pick. Bullet the best while I'm still in the market. Wallets on wallets, I'm staking a bit. Face like I'm Little B. Say what I say, now she feel to me. Make what I make, now they shielding me.
Big dog, big drums, big bass. When she look around, she see bass. Trying to play keep up, but it's way too late.
On chain is the next online.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jesse Pollack, the creator of Base. Super excited to be here on a beautiful Thursday morning in Southeast Asia, Wednesday night here on the Pacific coast of the United States, joined by some incredible builders. And we are talking about Based Around the World, the Buildathon series that's coming up in the next few weeks. The top level is that we're supporting builders all around the world to build incredible things on chain. We want to see folks build new apps. We want to see people use new technology to impact their local communities. And we're giving away 100 Ethan prizes to folks who are building that incredible innovation. And then, most importantly, we're capping it off with a world tour where me and the rest of the Base team is actually going to be flying all around the world to meet people in person, hear what they're building, and figure out how we can support them better. So I'm looking forward to seeing a bunch of folks in Thailand, in Singapore, and in Manila in the Philippines, where we'll actually be joining Gabby and the YGG team for a couple events there. So super excited about that. Today, we're going to talk about what's going on in Southeast Asia, how on-chain can help, and what we can start building. And so I'm going to start. I'd love if folks could just kind of jump in and share who they are, what they're working on in 15, 30 seconds.
All right, let me get started. Hi, I'm Gabby Dizon, co-founder of Yield Guild Games, or YGG. We bring opportunities for our community of gamers to band together, form guilds, and find ways to earn money in like on-chain economies.
Hey guys, this is Wei. Thanks for having me here. I'm currently the CEO for Coins. We're the largest licensed exchange in the Philippines, and then we also are expanding globally into other regions as well.
Hey Jim, I'm Niall, the CEO of Tokonomi, the first Indonesia venture capital firm that backed by Indodax, the largest crypto exchange in Indonesia. Nice to meet you guys.
Hey guys. Hi, Utah from Medcup Group, Business Partnerships Manager, looking over our various collaborations on our end, as well as, actually I've been working with a couple of people in this call or their teams as well. Super happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, thanks y'all for being here. I want to start by talking about what are some of the unique opportunities you're seeing in the region for folks building on chain, and maybe some of the challenges that you're seeing in the region that could be solved with this new platform. And feel free to just jump in.
Yeah, I'll jump in. So I think one of the the opportunities that we've seen with a lot of community members since I got it started with crypto is that a lot of people aren't as much into just trading. Of course, that's the first use case you do, but people want to earn crypto assets with their time and with their skill. This is something that we've been focused on since we started kind of building community around Axie Infinity 4 years ago. But there's different ways that this is expressed. Some people are playing games. Some people are doing freelance work in exchange for stable coins. Some people are creating artwork, for example. So there's a lot of expression that people are doing on chain, trading their skill and their time for on-chain assets.
100%. And I think this is one of the things that we're seeing more and more as well, is that people are actually earning to come on chain rather than traditionally on-ramping or off-ramping. It's they're actually earning to enter the new economy. Who else is seeing challenges or opportunities?
Okay, maybe I would start. So in Indonesia, we face a unique landscape, actually that filled with both challenges and opportunities as well, with the tech-savvy population of 275 million actually. Also with the high mobility penetration, with 95% that people already having the smartphone as well as the actually this number could be the growth of the emerging technologies. And as we know, the Indonesia also ranks among the top 3 countries for the crypto adoption. And actually Indonesia is reaching 20 million crypto users by August 2024. So this number is reflecting the potential for significant growth in this market as well.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. I think like one use case that we're seeing, and I think in addition to sort of earn, for the Philippines, and I think for Southeast Asia, a lot of countries is actually just remittance. I think one of the earliest adopters of for crypto is actually people using it for global remittance, and I think Philippines is quite unique in that it's the 4th biggest remittance intaking country in the world. We take in about $40 billion a year. Just from about the 10 million Filipino workers that kind of work all over the world. And it's kind of true, I think, I think for Indonesia as well from a remittance perspective. And what we're seeing right now is there's really strong demand, I think, not just from a retail perspective, but a lot of the businesses within the remittance industry starting to use crypto rails and then moving more of their business, I think, to on-chain, because they started seeing sort of both the speed and the cost advantages that crypto offers, and also availability, right? Banks are closed, 60% of the time that whereas like crypto rails are always open, right? So, and then I think that's something that we've been exploring at Coins with, I think we launched our own stablecoin, which is approved by the central bank here 2 months ago. And then what we want to do is actually export that into other venues, whether they're chains or exchanges, to actually to basically just build more use case for it. And at the same time, I think if you sort of, I'll pause here and let others speak.
Well, you make me think 2 things. One thing, I totally agree with the remittance challenge. I was looking at some data, and the average cost to do a remittance is $42 if it's coming from the United States to the Philippines. $42. And you look at like how much of someone's salary that is, that can end up being pretty meaningful for most folks. And then you look at crypto payments, and we're talking sub-cent transaction fees. And so that's a huge win for everyday folks. The second thing that I'll just say really resonates with me is I'm so excited about the coin stablecoin in the Philippines. We need more local stablecoins. I think that we're kind of in this part of the crypto economy where there's so much US dollar kind of denominated things, but for most everyday people, that's a good option. But it's actually pretty confusing if you're like trying to onboard someone to a new technology, and then you're like, oh yeah, to use this new technology, you have to totally reimagine your world, like your financial world.
Yeah, PHPC, something that our community is super excited about. There's, I think, around $2 billion a month of remittances that flow from around the world to the Philippines. And yeah, I think everyone remitting money back to the Philippines wants to do it in Philippine pesos. I think it's a huge opportunity.
Huge opportunity. And so I'm just like so excited you guys are leading the way there, and I'm excited to hopefully work more closely on it together.
Yeah, I mean, I think like one thing that's kind of interesting, if you want, I'm just going to go down the stables rabbit hole. It's like,
that's what it's all about.
We have clients here, I think in the Philippines, probably true in other parts of the world as well, that because they don't have like access to US dollar banking, right? So like one of the ways that but they do have clients like either in the US or they do collect dollars. And then the way they work around that is they basically have a PayPal account, right? I'm not not like this is not to crap on PayPal, but they made that business. They made that the availability of that is what they can charge, but they do charge quite a lot. I mean, when you mentioned the $42, where that comes from is that even with the PayPal services, they charge like 3 to 4% withdrawal fees plus 2 to 4% for FX, right? So if you make $100, you just did a job for $100, you get paid, you lose basically 8 to 10, like 6 to 8% of your money just gone from financial processing, right? And I think that that's something that it makes a significant difference, right? Between I did a job, I'm gonna have McDonald's today, or I'm just gonna eat at home today, right? So I mean, these things matter once you start getting into sort of like the dollars and cents of it all, and I think that's something that we look forward to, working with Base to sort of basically build that rails such that people have. On one side of the world, they can actually be connected with this side of the world and actually still do business.
100%. I can like personally attest to that because I've actually worked for the last almost decade now with some folks in the Philippines, and we historically did payments via PayPal, and then they would show me, hey, like you pay me this much, and then I'm trying to get it back into my bank account and I'm losing like 6%. And for a long time, I was like, well, I don't have another option. And actually, just in the last 6 months, we've switched to using USDC on Base, and then they're off-ramping through coins. And like, it's like, yes, it's working. Like, let's go. The systems are finally coming together. I think there's so much opportunity for folks to, soon with y'all stablecoin for the Philippines dollar, you're actually going to be able to, get paid in US dollars and then convert to Philippines dollar directly on chain. You get really, like low slippage FX. Then you can immediately off ramp. I feel like there's so much opportunity for builders to build on these new stablecoins.
This is the revolution we were promised, right?
This is the revolution we were promised. It's only taken us like 10 years, 12 years.
No, I think the other thing is like, yeah, sorry, go ahead, Neil.
Yeah, so actually, in fact, Indonesia, we do have more than 5 million that working around the world that working in every single country that they should, like sending back their money into the country, which is Indonesia. And for example, they do have the SGD or Ringgit Malaysia, for example, or even the USD, and they have to send back into the IDR rupiah. So yeah, I totally agree with you guys. We should make our stable coin and build on chain as well, because technically it could help our local community and it's the real impact actually. Yep.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to really jump on that real quick. I mean, especially in Thailand, remittances are heavily important. Again, like 4 years ago, one of the fundamentals for various projects, especially exchanges, right? Here at BitCup, on our exchange side, we've seen many developments in terms of being able to reach out to various remote areas, actually tapping into that tapestry and being on the ground to talk to those people. They did say that they don't have access to even just traditional finance, making it immensely difficult for them to even look into doing anything at all. It involves money, right? So we've had the chance to also, provide them opportunities in terms of access to decentralized finance, whereupon, of course, the advantages outweigh the disadvantages provided, of course, by traditional finance. And I'd say that, in terms of opportunities, that is something very significant here in Thailand, which is that first and foremost, there are these sort of opportunities providing these people in the remote areas access, right? And second off, to provide that access, it all came from emerging companies such as, of course, the BitCup Group, but also numerous other blockchain-related corporate companies in Thailand that are supporting this infrastructure, all because of the regulatory framework that the Thai SEC, of course, has been, uplifting, improving, whereupon we have had the chance for, I like to say, 6, 7, 8 years now that we've been working with the Thai SEC to improve these regulations, making them more, equal, fair, transparent as well for everyone, especially, licensed establishments to enable, of course, I think this is very much similar to CoinsBH or Indodax, within Southeast Asia, which is that regulations are being adjusted, making it more accessible for the everyday man to access digital assets, and that's definitely the opportunity. I think. Speaking from a Thailand-based standpoint, I'd like to say, of course, that I did speak on this at Korean Blockchain Week, which is that Thailand is at the epicenter of Southeast Asia. So in terms of like being geopolitically advantageous, I'd say that it is a big plus. People can go to and from each country. Like, let's say they can hop from Token 2049 over to Bangkok for DEF CON, let's say. So there's just so much going on within the region. So that's definitely something that's big. And adding on in terms of opportunities, if you've ever been to Thailand, you know that the beaches, the islands are beautiful, right? So people do work from there quite a lot. Being able to work remotely in Thailand is something that we take highly. A lot of digital nomads working here, and we can say that it's a wonderful place to work from. In terms of the rules and regulations and everything, it just permits them to work abroad as well as to access digital assets. I mean, if you know Phuket, the islands, you can see a lot of places. I don't know if they're but they do accept stable coins as payments here and there, right? So there is that sense of adoption that's popping up in these sort of areas, right? And it's very interesting to see because you can't really say that for a lot of other countries across the world, and it's definitely popping up in Southeast Asia, especially Thailand. Yeah.
I love it. Well, one thing that stands out. Well, two things. One is I'm really excited to be in Thailand in a couple months for DevCon, and hopefully can see a bunch of you all there in person. And if not, we'll see you elsewhere in the Philippines. But the second thing is, you mentioned just like how you're starting to see people who are unbanked or disenfranchised actually start to get access to financial services on chain. And I think this is one of the really cool things about this Buildathon is that you don't actually have to be a developer to participate in the Buildathon. Like one of the ways you can participate is if you take on-chain technology and you bring it to your local community and onboard people and make an impact, that counts. And you can win prizes and you can tell stories and you can actually have an impact by using the tools to make a difference in your local community. And I think it's really cool, now that we have these stable coins and we have like real savings accounts and we have lending products, like you can actually get people into this new economy and give them a better life by leveraging this technology platform. And so as we're kind of working towards the end, I'd love to hear from each of y'all, what's one thing that you want to see built on chain in this Buildathon? And then what's one piece of advice you have for builders who are thinking about building something cool?
I'll start with the advice because that's a lot easier. So for us, we are basically that like community infrastructure for onboarding, right? So most of the people that we work with, they don't come because it's crypto. They come because they can do something, whether it's playing a game. Some people are doing tasks like creating content, they're data labeling, and then they get paid. So with that interaction in mind, working your way back to product, like let me do something valuable, put it on chain, have it verified, and then get paid back token, stablecoin, right? I think that's the core interaction that matters. And obviously we're here to kind of help you find the community onboarding to find that. But that's the kind of core loop that we are really looking for from builders.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, for me, it's actually to address this kind of opportunity and challenges. So basically, the on-chain solution, like the app for the microfinance, could provide the valuable services like. So actually, we don't need to create some kind of rocket science solution, right? Actually, we just could focus on the local problems and create the local impact, right? Actually, by starting simple and addressing day-to-day issues that could help the small people with their microtransaction as well, could be more impactful compared to you create another rocket science product that right?
I love it. Start small.
Yeah, I actually think like if you look at just Southeast Asia across the board, I think like one of the biggest or one of the more interesting things is that like I think crypto in generally is not really like people are more willing, like whether it's at the I think at the top level, the government level, and outside of Singapore, or at the at sort of the populist level, I think people are much more open and accepting of it. I think that's sort of like across the board. And if you look at sort of the other sort of the major economies, like the exchanges that we have on here representing Thailand, Philippines, we've actually had pretty stable regulation for crypto. So sort of like the fiat rails and the bridges between crypto and sort of the traditional world is actually, we've been connected for like more than everybody's been around for more than 5 years now. So we've actually have pretty stable rails. You're not going to get debanked, knock on wood, right? So so you can actually build a lot more real world use cases than I would say in other parts of the world per se, where you can't even get banking. Like if you get China, you can't even build in crypto because basically you can't even get banking services for crypto, right? Like, or vis-a-vis some of the other regions. And then there is population density here as well. So especially in terms of a lot of the urban centers. So like for me, like I want to like but the overall theme is that I actually think most of the population here have been underserved by the traditional financial institutions. Even if you look at sort of lending rates here, I mean, it's exorbitant and it's not accessible, right? You can like I know people that borrow at like I don't know, like per annum, it's like 100%. Daily. Like so like if we can basically lower the cost of capital by bridging, with sort of this bigger pool of crypto capital or global capital, if we can basically just lower the cost of capital, whether it's borrowing or fundraising, and then increasing excessive access to capital, I think all of those things I think is going to do tremendously to help sort of the builders in the region. I think that's something that we're here to sort of help and facilitate. And then I'll come back to actually the point on the stable coins. I had this like one revelation once we started playing around in stablecoin world. Is like the current version of stablecoins we see is basically just like a US dollar checkings account. Right. Right. All you're doing is just giving people a checkings account, right? But there's the next iteration of it, which is a savings account, right? Which in my mind is going to be like 5 times bigger because everybody's savings account is going to be bigger than their checkings account, right? Right. I just think I think this whole stablecoin thing is just getting started. And then the second thing I think was really, really unique about PHPC down the road or regional stablecoins is that it actually opens up the possibility of commerce. Like right now, if you're a merchant, if you want to sell stuff to the Philippines, you have to register a company, open a bank account, collect and all that stuff, right? But now, here's my coins or here's my PHPC wallet. You can basically just buy directly, right? You don't even need to own any
zero
PHPC.
fees.
Yeah, you can just deposit your pesos directly, process it with coins, or process it with anybody else that wants to set up that processing, right? They can pay with the local payment app like a GCash, or they can pay depositly from a bank, and then that opens up the consumer, I think, in the Philippines to a whole lot more stuff, right? And that's what we want to build, whether you're selling digital goods or physical goods, even, right? I just think that's going to be really cool because it gives consumers more choice. You're not stuck and then it opens up sort of merchants to it just opens up more I think more gateways. So I think something along those things, right? Because now with these rails you can actually start building real world applications or use cases on top of. I think that's something that's both an advice and like sort of something that I kind of want to see. Right.
Yeah, from a monetization perspective, Philippines has always been viewed as low monetization. And a big part of it is actually because the credit card penetration has been really low. So enabling people to go on chain, and I think there's actually more people with crypto wallets now than credit cards, and pay directly with crypto, having apps that facilitate this payment actually allows builders to be able to access that kind of monetization that just wasn't available if you were relying on like traditional like credit card rails.
Yeah, I strong +1 to that. I think it's time for on-chain commerce. Like the technology is finally ready. We have sub-cent, sub-second transactions. It's globally distributed. You can pay anywhere. You can accept anywhere. People actually have wallets now. I'd love to see people build things with PHPC and other stable coins in the build-a-thon. I think that's gonna be really impactful.
Yeah, actually, my take on this is that I did tune into the previous session, Jesse, that you had with the folks from Africa, and actually, so one thing did resonate with me, which is that, especially in Thailand, which is, I'd love to see something on chain, transparently immutable, that supports the voting system. And in a genuine, not to get political sense, this would actually grant a lot of opportunities, especially here in Thailand. Regime-wise, I think the government, as well as the people here, would really benefit from that, being a democratic country. Being able to access technology and adopt it on that sort of scale, that would bring something immensely huge to Thailand. In addition to that, we have actually... on another topic, we've partnered with one of the projects, a gaming project built on Base, and being exposed to that, I think I have a different view now on GameFi projects, which is that I'd love to see that sort of thing, increased amount of GameFi projects being built on Base or L2s, seeing that in 2024, gaming projects have evolved from, let's say, 2021 or 22. The tokenomics are a lot well thought out now. The distributions and governance aspects to these projects are working on a higher, more transparent scale, whereupon they actually now have genuine communities that look after these projects. So I'd love to see these sort of additional projects, even better tokenomics, even better ways of taking care of their community, because I always say that the most important part of any project is their community, whether that be an exchange or a chain or anything at all. Yeah, so I guess that's my two takes on this. Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, well, we're so excited to see what people build in the Build-a-thon. Remember, you can build an app, a stablecoin app, a voting app, a lending, a savings app, a new game, or you can use any existing app or technology to bring people on chain and make a difference in your local community. Either of those are good paths. And so anyone can be a builder. You don't have to be technical. You can be a writer. You can be a creator. You can be a community builder. You can be a brand builder. You can contribute to building the global on-chain economy. Thank you all so much for being here. Thanks, folks, for tuning in. And I can't wait to see all of you in a couple months in Philippines, in Thailand, and Singapore. See y'all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.